There we go, try that.
Action.
There you go, we're already on filming. So yeah, as I say, green liquid in there and you can empty it on your pitch. Okay. Obviously for draining your tank down, so simple, lovely rubber hose that sits in the top there. So all you need to do is just pull the bung out there and it'll drain the contents of the tank down, and then if you just flush the toilet inside, it'll get the last of the solution out of the system for you.
Right, okay then, so you just literally just pull that out a little bit and then pull that out and then you can just drain it, and that's for transportation purposes as much as anything else.
What I tend to do, I drain mine back off into a bottle and chuck it in my gas locker, because there's no point chucking that liquid away, because you can just reuse it again, so you're just wasting it really if you tip it away.
What's the ratio mix for flushing? So what do you normally do? Is it 5 to 1? Or?
There is a thing on it, but it's a bit like making squash at home. Oh, you just literally get the bottle and go slug, that'll do. Yeah. If it looks a bit light pink, not dark enough, I'll put a slug more in. Okay. It's not an exact science to it. There's always a rough guide on the things, but it's not. All it is a nice smelling fragrance to freshen up the toilet when you flush it.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Just nice it sits in, and it's the bottom of the handle that just locks your cassette into place. So, come down the side now. So the first locker we come across is your underbed locker. Yeah. So this is obviously underneath your rear bunk beds. Fantastic storage space, but just watch what you're putting in here for travelling. You will notice if you fill this up for travelling, she'll be tail end happy when you go down the road. So keep it to a minimal in here. Okay. Obviously when you get to site you can cram it full of whatever you want, but for travelling, definitely keep it down to a low weight, because it's so across the back, she will be tail end happy when you go down the road. Okay. So if you have put some stuff in it and she's a bit wobbly as you set off, find somewhere safe, pull over and transfer the weight. The weight should always be in between the wheels on the caravan, and it'll take perfect then. Okay. So, round the back. So obviously your two rear legs on the back. All the new vans come with the standard templates to take a bike rack. So if you did want to add one on, it's a lot cheaper to get one put on here than it is to get these and the bike rack added. Okay. Bike rack added on, bit of a tongue twister. And obviously number plate, Jack will get your other one over, but I'll have that stuck on by the end of the demonstration for you. Okay, so down the side. So wheels and tyres, Swift make it so easy and put all the details on the door here for you. So it's 64 psi per tyre, and it's 130 newton metres for your wheel nuts. Now that's the torque setting on your wheel nuts. They've been torqued in the PDI. I will torque them again for you today. From today onwards it's down to yourselves. So please, it takes 5 minutes to do. Just check your wheel nuts. I
do have a torque wrench at home actually, so...
Yeah, fantastic. It's just for peace of mind, especially when you've only got two wheels on. If one wheel does come off, you are in trouble. So it takes 2 minutes to do. Just run round and just make sure they're all nice and tight.
Did we have, just remember at the front of the board cable, we had the spare wheel in there, didn't we, as well? Does this come with the spare wheel?
She is underneath there in a cradle. So look underneath the door, and there it is underneath in the cradle. Okay. So all you do is take the nut off on the end, slide the skid towards you so it drops down, push it away, it'll drop down again, and then slide it out.
Let's hope we never get
fingers crossed, yes, I was going to say, I've never changed a tyre on a caravan yet, so fingers crossed you're the same and you never have any problems. Okay, so next one down, fridge vents. Not much too exciting to say about these. I've got it currently running on gas, so a lot more heat comes out of this side. So if you come past it and feel a lot of heat coming out, don't be alarmed, it's just your fridge in operation. So two obviously features you've had added on. 240 external, and then next door, external gas barbecue point. So for your gas barbecue point, all you need to do is have your gas bottle switched on the front. Obviously your hose, whatever you want, attached to whatever gas thing, and all you simply do is just turn that valve round so it sits straight down, and that will obviously supply gas then externally for you.
That's good.
Okay. And that's about it for the outside, unless you've got any other questions.
Nice LED lights.
Yeah, lovely. So, put up. Who's going to be first in?
Wipe your feet then.
Oh, I thought it would have been Mum first in, but...
Down, wipe your feet.
I have got some of these if you wanted to slip them on. It's up to you. I have to wear them. I'm in and out of workshop, so...
Shall I put some of mine on? I'll take my shoes off, don't worry.
You sure?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to take yours off, it's fine.
Yeah, hence we have these.
Yeah.
It's easier.
So how many keys? Do we have one spare set of keys for each one?
That is the 2 sets of keys there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You'll be pleased to hear it is one key fits all. And you see I've got your heating on, so it's nice and warm in here as well for you. Yeah, so with your keys, it is literally one key fits all. that's your main key. That's your spare key.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. So that key will do absolutely everything around the valve.
Right.
So perfect, nice and easy for you. Right. Close it in, keep the warmth in. So first place I'll start is just underneath the bench here. I don't know if you want to come at the front here because you want to see it. There we go. So underneath here, in the very top corner there's your Truma heating system. So that contains your 10 litre hot water boiler as well as your air blown heating system. Nothing to switch on and off, I'm just literally showing you where the unit is. So moving on down now. So obviously your onboard water pump and your suppression unit is the white cylinder there, and then most important one, your yellow drainage tap. So if you're not using your van tonight, we'll drain that down at the end of the demonstration for you.
Okay.
So all that is, lift that tap up, it drains all the contents of your water boiler down, and then if you leave your taps open in the central position, it lets air in the system and everything will simply drain out the hole there.
Just a question about the hot water supply.
Yeah.
So basically that stores all the hot water in there. If the gas is running, can you continue using the hot water because it'll heat it up straight away at all? Or?
Yeah, you can run
okay.
it will run on
For as much
electric,
water,
gas, or gas and electric at the same time.
Okay.
And it will keep the hot water going either way. I don't know what your old van was, but in these units you cannot burn that element out. So even if you switch your hot water on and everything, that element will not heat up until there's water present in the unit.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about leaving anything on and burning anything out. It literally just sits there and does its job.
Okay. There's nothing else along here?
No, nothing.
It's
Nothing. It's just literally the unit in the top corner.
Okay, so we wouldn't need to go in there at all, would we? Because in our old caravan, that dump valve is
right in the top corner.
Right in the top corner.
Yeah, no, they've made them all so user friendly now. So it's just literally that yellow valve, that yellow tap there to drain everything down.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously, the blue box is the computer for your motor mover.
Yep.
Battery charger on the side of the unit here, and then here's your consumer unit, so your powerhouse of the van. On the end here, black system shutdown button. If you're leaving it somewhere unattended for a long period of time, what you can do is switch that off, and it'll isolate the 12-volt system in here.
Right. Okay.
Or if you're storing it at home, obviously you can keep it plugged in and you can keep it charged up that way. But if you're leaving it somewhere with no power, if you switch that off, it'll just stop any unnecessary drain off your battery.
Okay, because in our old caravan, you've got the switch, so we've got the option to put the charger on in the old batteries. So this automatically just tops up the battery.
Charger button's there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's as easy as that. If you're plugged into the mains and that green light's on, that's your battery charger running your system.
Right. Okay.
So if you keep it at home, I would just say once a week or something, plug it in. Make sure the green light's on and just let your battery system charge up. Obviously you can keep an eye on the voltage. You can even keep an eye on the voltage on your phone as well.
Okay.
To see how much power is in it.
Okay. And is there any? Do you have to switch between? Do you have to switch onto your car? You know, when we're actually towing.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to do as far as?
No, nothing in here. All the controls are above the door there, but with the modern intelligence that's in these vans, it literally does everything for you. They are so user friendly now, it's unbelievable. But I'll get onto that when I get to your control panel above the door. Okay. So obviously system shutdown, so that's like the main sort of isolation for the valve. Reverse polarity, you'll know from going abroad, when you plug into France, their electric's backwards to ours. So if you ever see that lit on, it's just letting you know that the power is reversed externally. There's nothing wrong with the van, it's just it shuts the power off outside rather than frazzling all your system in here.
Okay.
Okay. Then battery charger and heating and hot water. Now we'll just leave them two on constantly because they're only ever live when you're plugged into the mains. And obviously when you are on the mains, A, you want your battery charger going and recharging up your system, and B, you want your heating and hot water on mains electric. Okay, so there's no need to turn them off as such because they're only ever live when you're on the mains.
Okay.
Okay, then we've got 12-volt fuses, 240 breakers. I won't show you yet, but just on the inside of the door there is a lovely label which shows you 12-volt fuses and 240 breakers. But on these units, so fantastic, these 12-volt fuses. If you have electrical problems, stick your head in there, it will light up red next to the one that's blown. So all you do is pull that fuse out and replace it. So there's no real need for the diagram as such, because if you've got any problems, you'll see it. It's in front of your face there. You'll see if a fuse has gone.
Okay. Does the caravan come with any spare fuses at all?
There's a couple inside the pack, but you literally only get a couple. But we do them in the shop, and you can get these blade fuses from absolutely everywhere.
They're slightly bigger blade fuses than I think what we've got in the old.
Yeah, these are the standard, the
standard
car size ones. You do get the little diddy ones, but it's just the standard size inside here.
Okay.
Okay.
And you say this here, down here?
That's your suppression unit, so that just helps control the flow of the water inside the valve for you.
Okay.
Right, and then if I just show you, I'll just open this door quickly. I'll take the young man's. So there is your 12-volt fuses and your 240 breakers.
Okay.
Okay, so any electrical problems, this is your first port of call.
Okay.
Okay.
So you wouldn't really advise storing much in here because...
No, obviously with electrics, they do need breathing room as such to keep cool. So if you cram this full of, say, bedding or something like that, you probably will find you'll start overheating things and that. So yeah, keep it to a minimal in here. You've got loads of room underneath this side and that, but just watch it in here just simply because of all the electrics.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Lovely. So that's the easy bit. We'll do the complicated bit above the door now. We'll get it out of the way. So I'll try and squeeze down as far as I can. So here's your main control unit. This one is your heating unit next door. The one on the end here is your combination code for your tracker. So because you haven't got an alarm system, you've got the tracker built into the thing there. So once you've registered, tracker will send you a PIN code, and all you simply do is just enter the PIN code on, and that arms the tracker for you. Okay. And then obviously you putting the PIN in and off deactivates the tracker for you.
Okay. And that works, that activates the tracker and the alarm system, is that
well, no, it's just the tracker. There is no alarm system as such. It's just your onboard tracker. So that's how you switch it on and off.
Is there a subscription for the tracker then?
Yes, there is. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's all on your, when I get you done on Swift Command, it all comes up on there. It's off the top of my head, so it's been a while since I've done this. I think it's £9 a month or a year, one or the other. I'll find out for definite when I go back in. I've been in the shop for 6 months, so they've dragged me back to demonstrate, and so apologies, I don't know the exact answer on that, but I will find you an answer. For your main housing there, now it is switched on. All it is it shuts itself off like your phone, but to wake it up, all you need to do, just wave your hand past it. Okay, and it wakes the screen up for you. You'll see Jack coming, so I'll pause. Thank you, Clara. So, other than that, on this side, we've got the up and down arrows, lets you scroll through the menus. The select one in the middle lets you change what's on the screen. Yeah. And obviously on the very bottom is your on off. But let me just switch your heating off, because if I just turn everything off, it upsets it all. So, obviously, power off. That's everything off inside the van. The only two items that stay on, one's your heating you need to switch off separately, and two's your fridge. Okay, but other than that, power back on. Wakes the thing up. It's going to cry now heating error because I'm asking it to do heating and I've turned it off. So, onto this side. Top one is for your awning light externally. You know it's on because you get the lovely little blue LED light in it. Next one down is your dimmable lights. So these are the ones above your front cupboards and across the back cupboards here behind me as well. But as soon as you switch that dimmable one on, second one down, it'll always come up dimmer level on the screen there. So to adjust this, all I do is the select arrow in the middle. I can turn it down as low as 5. So if you get a night without the kids, but obviously you don't get that very often, so most of the time you'll have it turned up nice and bright. Okay. Yep. But there is rocker switches in either end, so you don't have to have both sets of lights on. So you can have one front one on and say the back one's on. Okay. But they will both switch on when you press this button. Okay. So next one down is for all the rest of the lights inside the van. But what it is, all the rest of the lights are individually switched on. So if you turn that on and a light doesn't come on, it's because it's physically off on a switch. Okay. Okay.
Fairly straightforward.
Yeah, perfect. And then the last one is just your water pump. Now, as you hear now, your pump's not running. That's because I've already pressurised up your system. So the only time your pump will run now is A, if you're asking for water, or B, if you've run out of water externally. Okay.
So it actually gives you an indication of how much water you've got left in the system, or is that off?
This is just literally when your Acarols run out of water, you'll just hear your pump running constantly until you fill it back up. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the basics. You're happy with that?
Yep.
Perfect. Right, we'll go on to the rest of it now. So, as I say, up and down arrows lets you scroll through. Select lets you change what's on the screen. So, we've done dimmer level. Next one down, heater settings. So, I press select, and it opens up the menu. Now, all you can do on here is change it from manual controls, which means I'm in control of the heating here, or you can change it to app. So, this is where if you want to use Swift Command to control your heating, rather than the heating system here, all you simply need to do is turn this one to app.
Okay.
Okay,
yep.
But I'll leave it on manual for now because I just want to demonstrate it on here first.
So when that's actually in app mode there,
yep.
If we left it in there, we would have to change that to manual to use the...
Yes, yeah. Once you've got that on app, it sort of overrides this system and you're in control of it on your phone.
That's what we need to be aware of.
Yeah, but I would, just to start with, until you familiarise yourself with the van, just use it on manual until you've got the hang of it. Once you've got the hang of it, then start playing with the app a bit more. Okay, so obviously I want it on manual. If I just push down now, it'll come up exit settings, press select, and then that saves whatever you've put in there. Okay, So heater settings we've done. Next one down, fridge settings. So as well as controlling it on the front of the fridge, you can control it up here, and you can also control it on the app as well. It's a bit overkill, but it's a nice little feature. So press select and it opens up the fridge settings. So what it's telling me first is we're running on gas. So you can change it from here to 12 volt for obviously when you're driving down the road, and 240 obviously for mains electric.
Okay.
Or you can set it to auto, which just means it will automatically scroll through and find a power source for you. So imagine if you leave it on auto and you're packing down, but you're moving on to another site, you've got items in your fridge, all you simply need to do is plug the car in. And that's it. It will automatically roll through. When it can't find gas, it can't find electric, and you're going down the road, it'll pick up the power that you're sending from the car and it'll run off that instead. Okay. So next one down is max 5. That's just the temperature that you got it on. Obviously 1's the lowest, 5's the highest that the fridge will run on. Status too warm. It's just telling me it's too warm inside here. It probably is because I've had the heating on for about 2 hours now. And then exit settings. So select, takes me back out again. Okay. So next one down, system settings now. So press select, opens up that menu. All you can do here is change the time and the date first. So hours, minutes, day, date, month and year. Key beep, if you want it to beep on it every time you press a button. Backlight is how long this screen stays lit for in the middle. And LED time is the amount of time the little blue lights stay lit on there. Okay. Then light mode. What you'll notice is when I turn that off and turn it back on again, your lights come back on. What that is, it remembers what lights you had on when you turn the system off. So say if you're going out for a meal and you just want to switch everything off, turn it off. When you come back in and turn your panel back on, it'll remember how many lights you had on. So say if you only had the front lights on, it will only switch them front lights back on for you. Okay. Then tank alarms. So if you ever remove all the power away, it may turn tank alarms back on. Ignore it because this is a feature for motorhomes. So you haven't got an onboard tank. So if it's beeping at you telling the tank's low, it's lying. All it is it's reset itself and it thinks it has got a tank. So all you need to do is come back into there and turn it back to off. Okay. Then Bluetooth pair. So this is obviously where I will pair your device up to the vehicle. I won't do it now. I'll do it at the end for you. But you can have multiple devices paired up, but you can only use one at a time. So what it means is you can't be sat in the front turning the heating down, and you can't be sat in the back turning it up. So you're only allowed one device at a time in control. Okay. And then Bluetooth delete if you ever want to delete and change your connections. Okay. Then exit settings. Again, press select. It takes me back out. So next one, leisure charging. It's just letting me know there's 14.5 volts in the leisure battery. Obviously it's higher than 12 because you've got the battery charger running into it as well, so it puts extra power in the battery. Next one down, vehicle battery. So if we're plugged into the car, it will tell you the power in the car. Solar panel, again, you haven't got one, so don't worry about that. It's just a feature that it's on all the others, so don't worry about that one. Their battery select. This is where you can change over from running on leisure battery to vehicle battery. But with this modern day and age and the modern sites that we're on, it's very rare that you'll ever have to run for the vehicle rather than the leisure. Then AC limit. So this is really good. I take it you'll be used to 6 amp sites in France then.
Well, yeah, 10 amps probably.
Yeah. So say 10. You can set a 10 amp limit in the van.
Right.
What the van will do is try its hardest to control the power in here rather than you overloading the system outside.
So to prevent a trip out?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's not foolproof. So say if, I don't know, if you've got a hairdryer going, you've got a phone on charge, someone flicks the kettle on, you can still overload the system. Yeah. But what this will do is try and control the power internally. Okay. So what it mainly does is shut your heating off. So say you flick a kettle on and you think, wow, they want 10 amps. Let's turn the heating off while that kettle's boiled. When the kettle's finished boiling, it will resort its normal order. So you won't even notice it.
Energy management.
Yeah, that's all it is. And all it'll turn things off while you're asking for additional power to keep it within that 10 amp limit. That is a really good feature. And obviously, if you don't need it, all you need to do is just turn it all the way up and it goes back to off. Okay. Then, last couple now. So, internal temperature. And then if I press select, it'll tell me the internal humidity and it'll also tell me the external temperature as well. Okay. Now I know that's a lot of information I've just given you then, hence the reason for the camera, but my main thing is, as long as you know how to turn it on, get your lights on your water pump, they're the basics that you need to get started, and the rest of it will come with time. Only advice I'll give you on that, if you ever get into a menu that I have not talked about, just keep pressing down until it says exit menu and come out. Because there is a way you can get into like an engineer's mode. I'm not going to show you how you do it, But if you do ever get to menus and you think, oh, he hasn't talked about this, just keep pressing down until it says exit and just come back out of it, because you can sort of reprogram the system and you can really confuse it, put it that way. So, okay. So moving on to your heating next door. So good old Truma system. So as you've already seen, to turn it on and off is just hold the ball down in the middle. So if I click it now, wakes the screen up. So what it is, you've got a little roller ball which changes the flashing symbols. So I'm on the first one here. Oh, it says. There we go. On the first one, I'm going to click it. Now this is just setting the thermostat for your heating. So all you simply do is just plus and minus it to whatever temperature you want your heating on.
Yeah.
Okay, and then click, and that sets it on for you. Now, as you see the flames above it there, the flame is indicating, it's letting me know the heating's on and it's at temperature. If the flame starts flashing, it means it's heating up again for you. Okay. So solid flame, it's at temperature. Flashing flame, it's coming back up to temperature.
Okay. Just it might be a silly question.
Yeah, go on.
You got your gas connected because you want to use a cooker. You want it to run. Yeah. You want the heating to run on electric.
Yeah.
Will it have a particular preference at all? Or?
No, you can run the whole caravan on gas.
Okay.
If you wanted to. As daft as it is, caravans are designed to run on gas first and electric second. But all it is, in the modern day and age, everyone's petrified of gas, so everyone uses electric over gas, which is fair enough because we've all paid for it on the sites. But you know, everything is designed to run on gas first and electric second. So you're perfectly fine.
So again, that would be in the menu settings, wouldn't it, to make sure that you know what the heating's running off? Is that right?
Yeah. You do it all up here.
Yeah.
So you do it up here. So as I say, first one is just setting the temperature. Second one over is for your hot water. Now your hot water's either off, eco, which is about 40 degrees, hot, which is about 60 degrees, and then you've also got water boost mode. What water boost mode's for is, say the lovely lady's been in the shower for 15 minutes and nicked all your hot water. What it means is you can turn the hot water onto boost mode. What it does is switch off your heating system, puts all its power into that water boiler for you, so it'll heat up in a faster operation. But once you're finished with it, you do need to come and just turn it back off, because remember, when you've got it on boost mode, you've got no heating as such. Okay. Then, next one over, lovely little tanks. So this is the question you were on about. This is where you select your power. So this is just for your heating system, nothing else in the van. Yeah. So the unit will run on gas by itself. Mixed 1, which is gas and roughly 1 kilowatts of electric. Mixed 2, which is gas and 2 kilowatts of electric. And then electric 1 and electric 2, which is obviously 1 and 2 kilowatts. So all it is the more power you send to the unit, the faster it'll heat up for you. So it'll work perfectly fine on any of them settings. All it is the less power you're throwing at it, the longer it'll take to heat up.
Yeah.
So obviously maximum output is mixed 2. So that's 2 kilowatts of electric and gas at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Happy with that?
That'll be very cold winter. You can end up having, that's quite a good feature.
Yeah, but it's good. Like when we set them up, we always put them on maximum because it means the van heats up quicker for you. So what you mean, if you say you get somewhere and it's cold, crank it on to mix 2 to start with, just to let the van heat up, and then just knock it down to maybe electric 1 or just gas, depending on what site you're on. Obviously, if you're in France and you've got no electric, I'd run on gas, but modern day and age, you'd be fine just to run on electric 1.
Okay. Excellent. And there's another feature there for fan.
Yep, so one on the end then, obviously because it's an air blown system, this is just how fast the fan operates to blow range. Eco, as you hear, is very, very quiet, and obviously high is a louder sounding fan, so if you're leaving it on at night, I'd definitely keep it on eco. But obviously high, again, if you want to just heat something up quickly, stick it onto high and it'll heat up faster for you. Now, one thing that is in here, won't be able to do it now, there is boost mode in there, so the same as the hot water one, you've got the same for the heating. So say you've been out for the day, you get back and it's 3 degrees in here, or you think it's freezing, put your heating on to 20, and what you can do is come down to this end one on the fan and it will let you select boost mode there. It won't now because it's already up to temperature, but if you're asking for a big jump in temperature,
it'll recognise that it's cold in here.
Yeah, and so what it does then, it's the opposite, it turns off your water boiler, puts all its power into the heating system for you. So again, it just means it'll heat up faster than the normal operation. Okay. Then last couple of bits, down the bottom, got a lovely start-stop timer, so the same as your heating at home, you can program it when you want it to come on and when you want it to come off, nice and simple. And then clock, so it's just setting the time. And then last one, a little spanner in the bottom corner there. And this is just the menu, so offset. What this means is if you've got a secondary thermometer in and they read different amounts, you can offset this one so it matches the same as the other. We've then got temperature, so if you want it in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Brightness is obviously the brightness of the screen. 12 or 24-hour clock. Language, if you want to speak French or German to it. And index just comes up with any alarm codes or faults, if there is any as such. And then, last but not least, good old reset. So the same as anything electrical nowadays, same as Sky. If your Sky's not working, what do they always tell you to do? Turn it off, turn it back on again. Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever having problems, just reset it and it just reboots it back into factory settings for you. Okay. And that's it on that.
So, I mean, in their entire, they're separate systems. We need to set the times on both of these independently, don't we?
Yeah.
So we have to think about it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just purely for the heating. That's to do with it's the control, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the main control unit of the van now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One thing, well, once you've got this on, I don't know whether to show you this or not because it's may cause domestic, but when you've got it on like that, you can just simply turn the thermostat up like that or turn it down like that. So once you've got it on and in operation, all you need to do is just turn the dial round and it'll automatically turn the heating up and down for you.
Because we also have the heating on, switch on in the morning. You wake up in the morning and it's actually heated.
Yeah.
So you're not having it on.
No, you can set a timer if you want. So say 7 o'clock in the morning it comes on, so when you stick your toes out of bed, it's lovely and nice and toasty in here for you. So they are a cracking system. Let's just turn that down before we start. There we go. So that's the most complicated bit out of the way. So if you've got your head round that, I'm happy, boy. You look a little bit frazzled, but not too frazzled.
It's all right. It's just it's getting used to it. Am I still in focus?
So if we go back down the front now, and don't worry, all the rest is just caravan features now, so it's nothing too exciting. In the second drawer down, obviously the top one's just a slide for the table. Sorry, yeah, first drawer, sorry, you were right, yeah. Insert there is your manuals and all your leaflets and everything. There isn't one for the caravan as such, because you'll have it onto your phone once I've paired you up. So you get an electronic copy now, while trying to save the environment. And they're just the feet off your microwave.
Okay. As far as any lock nuts are concerned for the caravan, because you'll obviously have lock nuts on, won't they? Where would that be kept? Say lock nuts, the actual key to take your wheel off.
Locking wheel nuts?
Locking wheel nuts, yeah. No,
don't get locking wheel nuts.
Okay,
No,
all right.
and none of Swift's range do they ever.
Oh, right, because we've got one with the old caravan.
Yeah,
which is
no,
obviously
they're an aftermarket thing. If you want to add them, feel free to add them.
Oh, right,
But,
okay.
no, don't ask me why. They're the only one company's Bailey that ever do locking wheel nuts.
Right.
None of the other companies bother with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So I think it's a personal preference. If you want to take a wheel nut out and put a locking wheel nut in, feel free to do it yourself.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
just obviously remember that you've torqued it back in. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
nice and tight. So obviously just various storage in here. I love these ones at the front there. About time they utilise that space because it's normally just a little empty cubbyhole. And obviously in that one there's your stereo for you. All it is I'll just pop the front off because it drives me potty, otherwise it keeps coming on and off. And don't worry, there is a manual inside there for your radio.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna bore you by showing you. You can hear she's on.
Reminds me of the old days, that does, when you got a cassette player with the face that you can clip off in your car.
Yeah, classic, innit? Classic. Various light switches here, down and everywhere. I'm not going to bore you by showing you light switches and that because that's half the excitement of finding it. But underneath this one, your power cable is underneath there, your brand new power cable. Okay. Yeah. Microwave, so simple. You can just press quick start and it goes up in minutes. Or if you press the microwave button once, that's your power output. Press microwave again and there's your timer. And obviously start and stop. Best advice with your microwave, do not travel with that in, because A, you will not believe how expensive these are to replace, or get your sideboard replaced. So take it out, wrap it in a towel, pop it in your sink, or very simply, just wedge it underneath the cushion there. Okay. And if you've got that to move when you're going down the road, I'm never getting in the car with you, because you've done well to get that to tip off.
Okay.
Fridge, so as I say, you've got controls on the app, as well as above your door, but you can also control it manually on here as well.
Does that override the control above the door if you do something on this?
They all will override each other, so depending on where you've last sent a command, it will do whatever you've last told it to do.
Okay.
So imagine if I turn it off here, but you're sat in the back turning it back on the app, it will come back on, if you got what I mean. So whatever your last command you've sent to it is what it will do. So on, off, on the end there, and then you've got power selects here. So obviously battery, but as you can hear it's bleeping now because we're not attached to a vehicle. Gas, it will just purge and ignite itself on gas. If it doesn't, you will hear it beeping. All you need to do is just change the selector, go back to gas again, and it will automatically purge and ignite itself. Okay. And then obviously mains is for your mains electric, and then auto will automatically find out a power source. So it always looks for electric first. If there's no electric, it'll look for gas. If there's no gas, it'll look for the vehicle battery. Obviously, if you haven't got any power to it whatsoever, it will just keep scrolling through and beeping, and it'll start getting upset and really beeping at you. But obviously, normally, most of the time we're on.
Probably
you
ends
know,
up in
just
this mode here,
on
won't it? Yes.
Yeah, that's it, and it will bleep. Everything starts bleeping at you. You can't miss the fact your fridge isn't on, put it that way. It's certainly, it's loud and proud. It's